What is going on, my fellow zombie slayers? It is your host, Nelly B here, and this is the Zombies Radio Podcast, episode 14. This is a podcast where I grab some of my favorite zombies content creators, and we'll sit down and talk about, well, zombies. Call of Duty zombies, that is. And in today's episode, I'm here with none other than 50 Callahan himself and Aria316. We tried our hardest to get Sawtooth on here, but the man has a life outside of the internet, and we kind of just have to respect that for the time being. But nonetheless, I'm super excited to have both of you guys here. And why don't we go around and introduce ourselves before we start the conversation? Cal, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. What's going on, guys? My name is 50 Callahan. I'm another sort of up-and-coming zombies creator. I've been in the community for about 5 years, but just really never... I don't think y'all have heard of me, but if y'all have, great. So, yeah, I'm really excited for this podcast. Arya?
Yeah, I'm Aria316. I am a mediocre zombies YouTuber. My upload schedule is as bad as my hairline, and you'll hear of me eventually, for the wrong reasons. But yeah, I make zombies YouTube videos.
Yeah, you guys are being too humble, man. Up and comer, dude, you're bigger than me.
Yeah, he's bigger than all of us. You got almost
I'm
10K.
talking about you, Cal.
What? I only have like 700. It's not that even. That's
You're coming
bad.
back, though. You were just on vacation. You needed a refresher. You're back, though.
Yeah.
But, yeah, awesome. You can find all of their links down in the description below, so make sure you check them out. However, this new map, it's got a lot of us, I'd say, inspired to start working on content again, and I love every bit of it. So, needless to say, I'm really happy to have you guys back on today. It's actually a huge pleasure. If you don't know, Sawtooth Callahan and I hopped on a podcast a little over a week ago, and we talked about the reveal trailer and some of the updates coming to the game. Well, the map has since dropped, and my good friend Arya has decided that touching grass isn't really as good as it was all made out to be. So he's joined us, and we're entirely grateful for that. But yeah, Maurer dropped. From what I can tell, a large portion of the community is loving it. It met and even exceeded a lot of expectations, and just about the same amount of people are calling this map Cold War's best. And yeah, I would agree. I don't know what you guys would have to say about that, but I would say that it's at least 3 notches above what any of the maps had before it, personally. I don't know if you guys want to give your opinion on that.
Yeah, this map it blew it out of the water. I know it took them 7-8 months to make, but I feel that was the time that was needed to make this map so great. And the thing with Firebase Z was I felt like it was a little rushed. Like, the map is still great, but going into Maurer, everything about this map is just so replayable. So it's so much fun the setup is what I really love, and just it brings a new experience every time.
I agree with Cal. I think the setup, especially the setup process, is very important in a zombies map, because it's what every player experiences the most. So the first 10 rounds and how they play out is very important in determining whether a map is really quality or not. And this map especially has a really good, replayable setup process where you can just enjoy getting set up. And I think that's very important in a zombies map. And this map just, it does it really, really well.
Nah, I feel that totally. Now that you pointed that out, I realized that most other times that I'm going to play I wouldn't say most, probably 25% of the times I'm going to play those other games, or other maps, I should say, I'm midway through setting up, and if I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. But I don't really feel that way with Maurer. Even though I've done it so many times already, it hasn't gotten old yet. Getting the wonder weapon is really the hardest part about it, and even then I have a lot of fun doing it. Just trying to remember that. It's also helped me remember stuff just in regular day-to-day, which is kind of an offhand topic. But Yeah, I would totally agree. It took a while for this map to come out, and it definitely shows in its quality. I really had no doubts about this map at all, especially with the time it took to come out.
Leading up to the map, I really wasn't like, I didn't want to get my expectations way too high, just because I have done that with the other maps. And the other maps are, like I said, they were great, but they just really didn't quench my expectations for the map. Like, I was super excited for D Machine and Firebase Z, but they didn't really reach the expectation as I was. But when I first played Maurer, every expectation was hit yet. Like, even though I haven't done the Easter egg or really went for a high round at all, I can really tell that this map has potential to be probably one of the best in Zombies history.
Yeah, definitely. I think because Cold War Zombies has really decent gameplay mechanics, it's been able to sort of get away with, sort of having, I would say, mediocre maps with really good gameplay mechanics. It's been able to compensate for the lack of really high quality maps with really good gameplay mechanics. But with Maurer der Toten, I think it's time that we finally got a really high quality map. Because D Machina and Firebase Z are good maps, but they're not really, they're not one of the best. I don't know if I would put them in my top 10 or even top 15, to be honest with you. But Maurer der Toten is definitely a top 10 map for a lot of people.
Yeah, I really wouldn't go back and play D Machine and Firebase Z just for fun. I would have to be just doing the Easter egg, because the only reason I would go back and play D Machine is just for leveling up guns, doing the speed cola strat, or the Easter egg. That's pretty much it.
Agreed. I would I would say that, especially compared to like before launch with the trailer and everything, I had the same problem as Callahan. I didn't want to latch on before the map came out and get my hopes up, but honestly, I feel like it delivered on everything that it was supposed to, and then some, just because not only is what Arya said true, the gameplay stands out, but also the map itself is really special in the space of Cold War Zombies just because of the aesthetic. I mean, we saw a little bit of it in the trailer, and it definitely carried over into gameplay, at least I would think, and even into some story aspects. Like, I've been trying to look into more intel, and that story just around it adds to the atmosphere and everything that's going on there, because there's still a lot of questions that we don't have answered, and maybe it's just because I'm a little incompetent and don't really know how to connect story elements that well, but yeah, I think it's doing a good job at what it intended to.
Yeah, I'm just like, I get the big feel as when I load into the map, and the first thing I see but when you first load in the map and you get that cinematic of you're on the chopper or whatever the helicopter is, going into the roof and like hopping on the roof, and then just seeing it's just this dark sky over Berlin, and then you hear the round music. It reminds me of like the Noct starting music.
Really?
Like, I don't know like where that's. I don't know what map is from, but it's sort of like a remix of the old round music.
Yeah, it actually kind of resembles the Mob of the Dead.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm glad they brought back that sort of classic round change music.
Yeah, I found a playlist of the themes on Twitter, and I can share them with you guys, but it's pretty dope all around. I haven't really listened to any of the Cold War themes anyways, but I like this one. This map really did a good job, especially with like the music really plays into the atmosphere as well. It does a good job of creating a sort of dark and mysterious ambiance that is really just more, I would say, not grandiose, but like epic at the same time. And it's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, the spawn reminds me of that one Black Ops 1 campaign mission where you're running against the roofs and going in the buildings and stuff like that. It just gives me that sort of vibe.
Yeah, well, I really want to talk about high rounds, but I don't think we can talk about them without talking about the only way you can get to them, and that's the Wonder Weapon, obviously. I mentioned this earlier, but the Wonder Weapon, in order to get it for free, it's a pretty interesting process, but you can also just get it out of the box in other trials. However, in order to like upgrade it or get a separate variant, we've usually always had to like build another bench or find pieces or go on a fetch quest. But this time around, the weapon itself drops it from getting kills, like drops the other variants. So that's something that I have been trying to focus on a lot while I play the game, like while I play the map, just to see how I really like it. And as for right now, I'm really just going for like Easter egg runs and high round runs. So I'm only going for like the regular base variant. So I'm not really focusing on the other variants as much either. I want to say it's good. I like it how it is right now, but I think I need a little bit more time to definitively say if this is something that should even happen in the future or if it's a good thing for this map right now. How do you guys feel about that?
I already made a video sort of talking about the Wonder Weapon. I really like the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
I think in terms of the relationship the base variant has with its upgraded counterparts, it's definitely the most unique Wonder Weapon we've ever had in zombies. I can't remember on top of my head if we've ever had anything that works quite like that. The base variant being sort of better than all the other upgraded versions, that's kind of surprising to me, but it's also a really good thing because the base variant is the most accessible one as well.
Yeah.
So you want the most amount of people, you want a lot of people to be able to have access to the most powerful thing that's available on the map. You know what I'm saying? So
Agreed.
The base variant being really good and really accessible at the same time, I look at that as a really positive thing. And the way you upgrade the Wonder Weapon is very unique. There is really no upgrade process. The zombies, they just kind of drop the upgraded variants as you kill them, which is very unique, and I really like the process. Like I really like the way that works. And the upgraded variants, while there's a huge lack of balance in terms of power and how much they're able to do,
Yeah.
like some of them are clearly better than others. Still, because they're so accessible and you're not forced to choose between, one over the other.
Yeah, exactly.
It all works. It all works really well.
And it doesn't take ammo from the stock. Like if you're almost out of ammo with the base weapon and you pick up an upgraded one, it gives you all that ammo back for that upgrade. And then once you use all that ammo, you go back to the base weapon and you still have that so much ammo in it.
Exactly. It allows for a lot of variety, really multiple ways to play, especially with all the different perks that we have. We'll talk about Mule Kick in a little bit, but yeah, the Wonder Weapon, I think it's one of the most, if not the most unique Wonder Weapon in totality, just because of not only how you get it, or not how you get it, but how you get its upgraded variants and how the ammo works, and the base variant being the most powerful one, and like Arya said, it's the most accessible. And with that being said, I feel like Treyarch should stick to this mentality where, the Wonder Weapon is not only unique, but it's also pretty powerful and accessible. It doesn't have to be the same way that this one is, but people always say this, but it's a PvE mode. You really shouldn't have a lot of restriction on how you can play. And especially if the higher rounds demand it, you should have something powerful enough to kill zombies on those rounds. So I think this weapon exemplifies that perfectly, and I just hope that we can see that in the next map, if it's not just this weapon again, which I don't know if I would mind that.
And since this is a new generation of zombie players coming into the community, they're not really used to the fetch quests like you were talking about, how having to upgrade everything like in D Machine, and just basically in other maps in general. So this really gives them a really feel of how zombies works. if that makes sense.
No, I feel that.
Yeah, Cold War Zombies, I think, is a really good gateway to new players. You know, it's a really good introduction. Like, if Cold War Zombies is your first ever zombies game that you play, you know, it's really good to introduce new people into zombies because of how accessible everything is. Like, the game doesn't force you to sort of do, you know, 20 different steps to upgrade this certain wonder weapon or get this perk or whatever, you know. Everything is sort of easy and accessible to a lot of people. So a lot of people get to enjoy what the game has to offer.
And it's sort of like with the game production from Treyarch, it seems that every game we get, it's getting easier and easier. Like, instead of going from easy to the hard, it's going the opposite direction. Like with with World at War and Black Ops 1 to Black Ops 2, World at War was really hard. Black Ops 1 was hard. Black Ops 2 was hard, and then Black Ops 3 was a little easier. Black Ops 4 was easy. It was getting easier, and now Cold War, and it's like probably the easiest game mode we've had yet.
I feel like what Arya said is key here. It's about the accessibility to the game, because we got to remember, it's a studio. They're trying to make money. They want more people to be able to play, which is why the cross-platforming exists now, and cross-progression and stuff like that. And having it not have just stopped at the cross progression and all of that, but actual gameplay elements being more accessible and, in my opinion, more fun than at least the past game was. It just all came to fruition at this map, and you can go back to the last episode. But I said this map was gonna be like what Cold War was trying to do all along, and at least in my opinion, from my perspective, it did exactly that. And that's why it took just a little bit longer to do that, because they realized that our Outbreak was a thing that they wanted to do, or were at least told to do, and they had to flesh that out. And then they came back to the round-based map where, you know, they knew at least the people who were playing before would want to come back and at least try it out, especially if the trailer was good, which it was. And the map just had to be consistently good, or the setup process had to be good in order for people to want to replay it. So, good map. I will give an applause for that. Good wonder weapons too. I feel like one thing a lot of people don't mention is the Gersh device, or the Casimir prototype, I believe it is. I think that's pretty cool. Like, just to throw it out there. Neat additions like that, I hope, are what we see in the future, like calling back to old games. I hope we see something about the MPD in the next game. We don't have to see the MPD period. Oh god, MPD pyramid.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah,
I have a question, if I may interrupt you
go
for
ahead.
just 1 minute, Nelly. Have you guys ever actually gotten the Gersh device as a drop?
Yes, I think I have a clip of it,
You have?
actually. Yeah.
I've never even used the Gersh device yet.
Okay, because I don't know. I talked about it in one of my videos. I talked about the Gersh device, and I said that, hey, I've never gotten this as a drop. I don't think it's possible to get it as a drop. And because the reason I said that is because Treyarch had mentioned that we were supposed to get the Gersh device as a drop as well, and they mentioned it in one of their blog posts or something.
Yeah.
So I was expecting to get it as a drop, but I never have. And then all the people in my comment section are like, "Oh yeah, I got it as a drop in round 2." I'm like,
What?
What
yeah,
the
I
hell?
saw that. I don't know about the round 2 drop, but I know. Excuse me. I was almost certain that it was the Mule Kick drop that they were talking about, like how it can drop more at least ammo and more equipment. I thought that's what they were relating it to. But yeah, I've gotten it. I got it my first game. I think I went up to round 41. I got it at like round 35 or 36 or something. But the other day I went for round 100, and I got to like at round 56 it dropped or something like that. And I have a GeForce clip of it, which I recorded. But yeah, I've been getting it as drops. I thought it, like I said, I thought it was a Mule Kick thing, but it could just be a regular in-game thing, and it's a lot more rare to get, kind of like Ronald Reagan or something.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like I don't know, maybe it's kind of like the monkey bomb.
Yeah,
You know, it's pretty rare to get, and a lot of people say it actually looks like a decoy grenade.
it does.
So if you see a decoy grenade, just walk up to it, and it might be the Gersh device.
Mm-hmm.
But I do that all the time because my main tactical equipment that I use are the decoy grenades. So whenever I see one, I pick it up. But I've never seen the Gersh device as a drop ever, and I've played Maurer der Toten countless times, and not once have I seen it as a drop.
Yeah, I
get it
mainly
out the
see
box?
it when I'm down camping in the power room when there's a bunch of just crap on the floor. I'll like run over it and it'll show up as a legendary, which is the only way I can tell. So it'll like flash for a second. I'll go back up like, oh, there it is. So,
Wait, the Gersh device shows up as a legendary?
I think so. I don't want to try and
Are
find
you
the clip because
sure?
it's deep in here, but I'm almost
Okay.
positive.
Okay. Because one time I was trading out my equipment. I actually crafted the Gersh device at the crafting table, and I dropped it on the ground just so I can see what it looks like, and it looks blue. It's of the blue variant, from what I know. But
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe as a drop it's legendary. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll have to find the clip and send it. I'll probably put it on when I'm editing this, but yeah.
Sorry for that segue, everyone.
No, it's
Moving
cool.
on.
It's cool. I mean, I didn't really have anything else much to talk about it other than that it's cool in itself. It doesn't. I thought it would teleport you like the original Gersh device did, like across the map, but it really only
I thought it
teleports
was.
you.
It's supposed to, doesn't it?
From my experience, it only teleports me in like within a certain radius, and it creates another ball
okay.
that just sucks in more zombies. I used it during the boss fight, and the effect itself is cool. I like that it doesn't teleport you across the map because it creates another ball that'll suck in more zombies, so it just gets better every time you jump in it. But I still want to hop across the map. So, but yeah. Speaking of Mule Kick, Mule Kick is a new perk, and I know Arya uploaded you uploaded a video about it, right? I'm almost positive.
I did, yeah.
Okay, you scared me. Yeah, I immediately upgraded it all the way because I had the crystals in order to. Callahan, do you have anything to say about Mule Kick? Because I think everything that I want to say has already been said.
I haven't bought it yet. I know that's kind of shocking, but I'm waiting just to upgrade it all the way to really experience it for the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's kind of weird, but
No.
I just really have no desire to buy it yet.
Yeah, I mean, I did that with Tombstone, and especially if you want to see how it works throughout each level, that makes sense.
I mean, I said this in my video as well. I mean, I would say if you are gonna use Mule Kick, definitely upgrade it all the way, then use it. So it's a good thing that you're waiting because Mule Kick. The best thing about this version of Mule Kick are the things that basically have nothing to do with your ability to carry a third weapon. It's everything else it has to offer that's good. That has to do with ammo and equipment.
So it's basically just like Vulturate as well.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I love that how they're doing that. Sort of combining two perks in one.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
did with Tombstone, they added Who's Who in it as well.
So
Yeah, exactly. So the things that are good about Mule Kick are the things that have to do with ammo and equipment, especially equipment because recently they buffed all the equipment in Cold War Zombies, across the board. So the equipment is like super OP right now.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have gone for any high rounds yet, but the Mule Kick, especially with I'd say, what is it called, Molotovs, throwing them at the windows, and another great thing that I don't think anybody has mentioned yet, when you throw an equipment, you have the chance of getting it back, unless it's like a tomahawk or something like that. one that you
Or
can
a
pick back
C4.
up, or a C4. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll buy like the 3 Molotovs, and I'll throw both of them, and I'll have 2 left, which is perfect because you only want to throw them at 2 windows, and you'll get Molotovs as you go. So because sometimes you don't have as good economy with your regular salvage, so you'll be stuck with just picking them off the ground, and that's really great. I like what I mainly use it for is I spawn in with the shovel, and I'll end up getting either the wonder weapon of the map and then the ray gun. And then whenever I'm stuck in a position where I can't get out, I'll melee with dead wire, and then throw a what's it called? Stun
Decoy.
grenade. Decoys I don't use as much because they break on me sometimes. I throw a stun to stun everything around me.
Oh, stun
and then the
okay.
melee is usually good enough to get through the couple of zombies that I need to get free. So I feel like that is like the best use case for the 3 weapon strategy. But even then, especially on like Outbreak or D-Machine, you have to buy it from the Mule Kick, or not Mule Kick, the Wonder Fizz. And when you buy it from the Wonder Fizz, the 3rd weapon drops, and that's usually the ray gun, so you have to run back and grab it. It's kind of annoying, but I understand it at the same time. But yeah, if you're gonna buy Mule Kick after you just went down, probably buy it from the machine if you're on Maurer.
I love it how it gives you your weapon back once you go down.
If you still have the perk, yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait.
Like if you get back up, you'll still have it. Like if it was one of your first 3 perks, you'll still have the weapon. But yeah, you're right.
No, I'm talking about like when you when the perk goes away and you rebuy the perk.
Oh yeah. I like that too. That's one of the like the mid-tier things about it, I'd say, because I'm not usually trying to get it for like that. For Arya, what Arya said, the ammo and stuff like that is probably more important to me. But yeah, getting like how it works in Black Ops 4, because you can with the at least being in what is it the
modifier.
The modifier. Yeah, Arya would know anything about that. But yeah, the machine too itself is pretty cool. It actually kills the zombies like as it shoots. That's
it does?
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's really cool, dude. Definitely. When you're playing Maurer der Toten next, go buy Mule Kick from the perk machine and actually like make sure the zombies are behind you. And the perk machine itself, it will kill all the zombies around you. Mm-hmm. It will shoot the zombies and kill the it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What the hell? That is awesome.
Yeah. Definitely look into that. It's pretty cool. It's definitely one of the coolest looking perk machines, and also in terms of like just functionality, it's very unique. We've never really had anything like that in zombies before.
Yeah.
From like it got a mega facelift and it looks way better.
Yeah, it definitely does.
I feel like it's one of those machines that we should be worshiping right now. I don't see enough people talking about it, just the design itself, but
I think it's the best one yet.
Oh, definitely.
The best looking one.
But aside from Mule Kick, it's one of my favorite features. You know, the Wonder Weapon is cool too, but I think nobody's talked about him yet. Nobody even really threw him a passing mention, but Klaus himself is just so cool to me. I made a whole video going into like all of his intel and stuff like that. And his backstory might not be interesting to a lot of people, but he literally kills like most of his team before we find him. Like the director ships him there. He kills most of his team, and then Omega invades, and he's just left there chained up with his hands wrapped around Agent Jack, I think it is. And that's not a zombie that you're picking those hands up from. That's a person, a CIA agent. So I think that's pretty cool. And Klaus himself is just so interesting. You know, he's got all the 3 levels. He's got the different looks. He does more damage. He's got an ammo mod equipped at level 3. And he stays in a little bit longer. I think a lot of people are more focused on his glitches right now, which I haven't been too affected by. I know one game he didn't come back in the map after we spawned him in, which kind of sucked. But yeah, like his I think
I'm out.
What? Oh yeah.
Wait, I'm out.
Well, I think Treyarch said they fixed that in a recent update, but people are still experiencing that. They said they fixed a lot of stuff, but I have probably experienced everything but one of those things since, which is kind of tough to say. But yeah, Klaus himself is really cool when he's working, at least. I don't really have much else to say about him.
I don't know. Klaus is really interesting because the concept of Klaus is something that's kind of old. Like we've seen things like that in zombies. Like it was the first thing was the Maxis drone in Origins, right? It was the Maxis drone in Origins. Then it was the Civil Protector in Shadows of Evil. But with Klaus, they took it a step further, where you can actually control where he stays. You have more control over him. You have kind of this remote control thingy in your, this device where you can actually point to different parts of the map and he'll just go there.
And he'll respond to you,
that's
too.
the best feature.
Yeah, that's the best feature, definitely. And you can upgrade him twice, which is really cool. He'll get a pack-a-punched weapon, and, he'll revive you and everything, but the fact that he... Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Go ahead.
Fun fact, you don't need to upgrade him at all for him to revive you. I thought. I
knew that. Yeah, I knew that. I'm just saying it's just part of one thing that he does is revive you.
Can't you upgrade him 3 separate times, though?
I don't know.
Yeah. No, because you said 2 times. So
I'm pretty sure you can upgrade him twice. Like you upgrade him once, and then he gets the weird hair, and then you upgrade him another time, and then he gets the mohawk. Right?
The first time you upgrade him, there's no visual change. It's just his weapon. That's when you put the satellite dish on and you send him in. And then the next 2 are finding the floppy disks around the map. And then those are like
you're right.
quick ones.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're right.
You're good.
Yeah.
I was just confused. I was like, "Am I wrong? I don't know."
So the first time you upgrade him, what happens?
So he doesn't get any visual changes. It's just his other than his weapon. You can see his weapon pack-a-punch now.
Oh, okay. So his weapon just gets pack-a-punched. Then what happens when you upgrade him another time?
His weapon is pack-a-punched again. You can see the second pack-a-punch camo on it, and then he gets the lace top and the black hair.
Yeah.
And then
okay. And then it gets pack-a-punched 3 times, and then he gets an ammo mod.
Yeah. I think those next 2 times, it's either the last 2 or the last one where his time on the map is increased, because I tried to time it in one of my earlier games, and his base level was like 2 minutes, and then I tried to record it later on with GeForce, and I set a 3-minute time limit on, and as soon as I called him in, I ended the record and I started a new one, and as soon as he left, it was exactly 3 minutes. So I'm not sure if it's the last level where he gets the extra minute or the last 2 where he gets an extra 30 seconds, but he's definitely got a time increase after you upgrade him those last couple times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's pretty cool.
Definitely.
The one thing I don't like about him, though, is that you get your tactical equipment taken away from you.
Yeah, yep, that's infuriating. It's not as infuriating as the Easter egg step where you have to pick up the trap thing, because you just drop your equipment. When you pick Klaus up, you don't drop it. It just is like stowed away, which is a lot better than the alternative.
I see. Yeah.
But yeah, Klaus.
What do you think? What do you think, Cal?
I mean, I love Klaus. I just love the whole aspect of him. I don't know, I was just stuck on the thought of, like, if we had the controller for, like, the Maxis drone, we wouldn't have to deal with his crap anymore of him running around. So I don't know, I kept thinking about that.
That's a good point. That's something I didn't think about.
Because we don't have to deal with him, like, in the final step of the Easter egg where we have to put him up in the portal. I don't know. But anyway, back to Klaus.
No, that was a good point.
I love the, I don't know. I lost my train of thought thinking about that.
You love Klaus.
I like his quotes. His quotes are good.
Yes.
I love it
classics.
how it's more of it's more interactive with you than just like the Civil Protector. Oh, you just collect these fuses, put it in the thing, call them in, and you just kill zombies. Mm-hmm. Like it's an actual vital step of the Easter egg that you have to do. So that's why we'll have more love and care for him than the Maxistrone and the Civil Protector.
I would say the Civil Protector, yeah. I think the Maxistrone is a little bit less interesting of a fetch quest, but at the same time, it still plays into the Easter egg. But yeah, I totally agree. That was a really good point. Being able to place the Maxistrone would just make that Easter egg so much easier, even with all the RNG that already takes place. But yeah, Klaus is a cool addition. I think we should see, if not a different version of him, then just like a callback in like the final map's Easter egg cutscene or something like that. Just a little nod, because the community loves him. Treyarch can do whatever they want as long as they comply with like corporate orders or whatever. But Klaus is one thing that I definitely think they could at least mention in the future. Or I would love to see his gameplay aspect return too, because I feel like we've been robbed. I feel like Alpha Omega would have been better with the Klaus. I feel like what's it called? Tog is a great map, but Tog would have been better with the Civil Protector feature. I don't think it should infest all of our maps, but it's definitely a good aspect to have, especially when we don't have characters to latch onto in game. It's definitely a big plus having Klaus.
I miss that feature of having in-game characters. Like, I miss having a set for characters with quotes themselves. Like, I like the idea of having like use your own operator, but that reminds me of too much of just Modern Warfare, and I don't like that. That's just not like Treyarch, I feel like.
Understandably. I feel like they're doing a good job with dealing with it, at least now anyways. They could be doing better, but I'm not really going to be too mad about it because we now have Klaus, and hopefully Klaus himself will open up the door to more aspects like that in future games where we don't have specific characters in our maps. But I think we spent a little bit too much time on Klaus. I only say that because other than the Easter egg and him being, a good guy to chat around with, I don't really use him.
He's strong too.
He's strong, yeah, but I don't use him mainly because I go for high rounds on the time. And from what Arya said, him getting rid of that tactical equipment kind of sucks. I mean, sure, he'll revive you, but I can revive myself, homie. I've got like 4 different ways to do it now, so I'm good. But high rounds itself, I think they're pretty interesting, and that's all I'm gonna say because I haven't actually gotten to high round yet. I've just DC'd every time. So yeah.
So for me, my first playthrough, I got to a pretty high round pretty easily just doing the Easter egg.
Oh,
like
yeah.
killing, like rounds go by so fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's mainly due to how much fun you're having, but yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a question. What do you guys not like about this map?
I don't know. I really haven't. I'm still in the honeymoon phase about this map.
Yeah, because Cal just got back and started playing it. I think, for me anyways, if this were like day 3, I'd say the train. The train would give me issues. Like
Train.
I only died by it.
From it yet.
I only died by it like twice, but just the part with Klaus, I couldn't get it to work. I didn't know how it worked, but other than that, Klaus honestly would probably be the worst aspect. And that's not saying much because I've already said how great he is. I mean, and I only say that because of the high rounds. Like, I expected him to be able to help me kind of like how you would use him on Shadows of Evil. But taking that tactical away from you is probably the worst part about that, specifically when talking about high rounds. Because you, to a certain extent, you will need your stuns or your... what were you? Your stuns or
decoys.
Your decoys. Yeah, your decoys.
Yeah.
So, other than that, I don't know. It was kind of hard to learn the layout of the map at first.
Yes, that's what I'm about to say. That's the one thing I hate about it now.
Yeah.
It's a little windy, isn't it?
Very, very. It's it almost seems symmetrical, but I don't even know if I'd be using this word right, but like asymmetrical? Like it's kind of symmetrical, but at the same time it's not. Because like you've got the two underground tunnels that connect.
This map is just freaking huge.
Yeah, Arya said it best, windy, now that I think about it.
Yeah, it's really big.
Mm-hmm.
And once you learn it, you realize that it's not actually that complicated. Like, it's basically just divided into 3 different buildings and then an underground section. But because every building has like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 different levels. Like there's the roof and the middle and the bottom floor. And how each section in each building connects to another section in another building, when you think about all of that, it becomes kind of complicated.
Yeah.
Because the map is big, both horizontally and vertically.
And the way that you're traversing between those areas, at least a lot of the times, is through the zip lines. And especially if you aren't like used to them in zombies, like you're not a diehard oh my god Call of the Dead fan, you're not really going to be too used to ziplining or most places. But I think for the first playthrough, that's what really got me, was just the amount of times you turn around while ziplining and them being basically identical to the one right next to it that goes to the other building. So I think that's what got me the first time, but I like them now. I like how good they are with getting away from zombies unless you're playing with someone else, because who has time for a zip line to cool down? I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah.
Well, we had that in Revelations.
Zip lines?
The jump pads. They had a cooldown too.
Yeah, I know about the jump pads, but I think if you were on it with someone, you could take it with them, couldn't you? Can't do that with the zip line.
No, you couldn't.
What?
They had a everything, every single teleportation device or traverse, anything that's used to traverse between one area to another in any zombies map, as far as I know, has pretty much had a cooldown.
I don't think the rifts in Shadows of Evil needed a cooldown.
Yeah, but that's because that one was kind of, I guess it was more of a door than anything.
Yeah.
You're right. It
okay.
didn't have a cooldown, but it's treated basically as a door. It's not exactly it's not a teleportation device. Like, it's not a transportation device. Like. Yeah, the rifts didn't have a cooldown, but the tram had a cooldown. You know what I'm saying? Because it's yeah. It's used. You use it to basically just save time to go from one place to another.
Yeah, the Revelations jump pads did have a cooldown, but pretty sure you could take multiple people on them at once. No?
You could.
You could. Yeah. It's just that what I was saying is it did have a cooldown.
Yeah. I agree with that. But yeah, the zip lines, I don't know. They just confused me for a little bit, but
I love them.
I understand their importance now. Yeah, I like them too. I like how they're used to easily get away from zombies and just get to different parts of the map you usually wouldn't be able to get to from previous maps. So I like that. Other than that, though, you said this started off like the worst part of the map. I can't really think of anything else. Before the recent patch, I'd say high round panzers. Those are getting pretty ridiculous, but there's like 4 every round now, so that's a lot better.
Yeah, what do you think about that? What do you think about the boss specific rounds now, where you have one round when there's like Panzer after Panzer spawning in, and then the next round was like Mangler spawning in.
Yeah, what
do you think about that?
That's interesting. I like it because going for these high rounds, I've been able to tell not like more nuanced differences, but more general differences between the two, especially when it comes to damage. And this might be crazy to say, but taking out the Panzers, at least with the Death Machine or the War Machine, is a lot easier than taking out the Manglers. It's weird to say, and you might think I'm lying, but it's totally true. I put some gameplay here over the voiceover, but it's interesting. I like that they split the rounds up, because if you were trying to kill a Panzer and you had the Mangler right next to him and you're all out of your war machine, it just feel a little bit weird because he's so much smaller. He's got a lot less armor, and really the only good thing about him is that arm, but he genuinely just has more health than the Panzer, which is crazy. So I like that they split the rounds, and it doesn't make it awkward when there's like a half health Mangler and the Panzer's just there lying on the ground looking like a little bitch.
Yeah. What do you think about the Disciples, the new enemy type that we have?
They're interesting. I really don't think we've had this type of boss yet in zombies. It reminds me a lot about the Witch, but the Disciples don't take your points away, so that's a plus.
Definitely.
Yeah, that Witch was a bitch, wasn't she? Good lord.
Yeah, I think the Disciples are pretty interesting, how they siphon your health and also add to their own. So it's kind of, you'll be like, oh, I'll take care of him in a little bit. He's already low health, and he's like sucking your health, and you go back to kill him, and he's like 3 or 4 more shots now, because that's interesting to me. It's a little frustrating sometimes on the higher rounds, but you get used to it. I do have to say one thing. His turned essence, or like how he looks after he's turned, when he's green, that's cool. I like how they added all that smoke. That's interesting to me. He isn't really a good ally when it comes to killing zombies, but he does stun them. So
He's
that's
really
pretty
not.
interesting.
He's really not. What I wish he could do when you turned him is to like buff, like turn other zombies for you. That would be cool.
That'd be interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
or maybe heal you, like give you his health.
That would be.
I was trying to think about that, but I couldn't for the longest. But yeah, those are 2 good ideas. I feel like I do have to say though, the way he looks is just so cool to me. Especially the first time I saw it, I was like, oh shit, what is that? Oh, he's turned. Okay, that's.
And I was so shocked that you could turn the Disciple.
Yeah.
Like, I had it on because of the Easter egg step. I shot him, I was like, oh, wow, you could turn him. That's awesome.
Yeah, most boss zombies, when you turn them, they kind of suck.
Mm-hmm.
Can you turn the Megaton?
No, you can't do that. He's considered an elite, same as the Panzer, so you can't turn those, which is kind of a shame. But you can turn like Manglers and Mimics and
That's
the
awesome.
Disciples. Yeah, the Mimics are not bad. The Mimics are good, but everything else, every other boss zombie that you can turn, they're pretty much.
You mean
they suck.
the Manglers?
No, the mimics. When you turn them, like in Firebase C, when you could, when you turn the mimics, they're good. But in Maurer der Toten, your best choice is to turn either the zombies or the Manglers.
Yeah.
I've never really used Brain Rot until like this map because it's needed.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd say, at least from how I like to play, I think turned is just better to get when going for high rounds. Unless you have like a melee weapon and you're stuck, then it's probably Deadwire all the way. And yeah, I like the way I like the Disciple, I gotta say. I like how he's introduced to when you turn on Pack-a-Punch, and he kind of just spawns in and he makes this eerie sound. And then he like floats over to his right, your left. And I always kill him every time.
It's so fun doing that.
Yeah. And he gives you more zombies too, so like you get more points from that, even if you hold one. So that's dope. I feel like one thing we haven't mentioned is Pack-a-Punch camo. I like the new Pack-a-Punch.
I was going to mention that. It's a more cool cosmic style to it. And I feel like I prefer this camo more than D-Machine and Firebases.
Definitely. Yeah.
It looks fantastic.
I would say it's the latest progression in the Origin style camos that we've got, because we saw the cool light up blue ones in Origins, and then in Revelations we saw the space type, and then this is basically that, just with shifting and morphing colors, which is really interesting. It makes the gun feel more alive, and
I like it how it gets brighter every time you upgrade it, and it's not like D Machine where you upgrade it and then it's like goes from orange to green to pink.
Mhm.
I just like it how it gets brighter because I don't know, this might sound weird, but I hate that orange Pack-a-Punch camo. It gives me anxiety for some reason.
Yeah, I don't personally. I was a fan of the Pack-a-Punch camos at first, but if I knew they were going to be used again in Firebase Z and Outbreak, I might have been a little less hyped about them. But yeah, at least for the Wonder Weapons, anyways, I like how they look because I don't really use the Pack-a-Punch camo on any weapon anymore. So
Bring back the Zetsubou no Shima Pack-a-Punch camo.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. I'd rather have the Risendrox camos in the form of like this map where they morph and change to each other like throughout. That'd be pretty interesting.
I can see that.
But yeah, we're getting towards the end of this, guys. Do you has anybody done the Easter egg yet?
I've done the steps, and the steps are really fun.
Okay.
I haven't beat it yet.
What about you, Ari?
I haven't even attempted it yet. I will today or tomorrow, but I haven't even attempted it yet, to be honest with you. I've been just enjoying the map.
Yeah, understandably. Yeah, I've been enjoying the map too, and I think one of the main reasons why is because of the Easter egg. Like, there's so little RNG other than maybe the spawns for where you have to fill up the canisters and a little bit more so Klaus because his timer is so low and you don't always have the ability to time him. You're like, okay, I spawn him in now. Let me count to 2 minutes to make sure that I can get everything done in this one run. So those parts are probably the most frustrating about it. Other than that, it's a great Easter egg. I've loved replaying it. I did it like 5 times in a row for like 5 days straight, and I didn't get bored of it. The only reason why I stopped is because I glitched out on like my last run, so that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. That's another thing. This map is kind of rampant with glitches, and they said they've been trying to fix them, and some of them have been fixed, other things not so much. But the Easter egg is definitely one thing that I'm going to come back to, and I want to do like a round 100 Easter egg. That seems interesting and very plausible with how the Easter egg is set up. And then Easter egg speedruns too, because of that RNG element isn't there as much. It'd just be so interesting just to push how far you can go with such an interesting Easter egg and how quick you can get it done.
Yeah, I'll definitely give that a shot. Because a lot of people have been saying a lot of good things about the main Easter egg and how much fun it is. So,
oh yeah,
I'll be doing this one for sure.
It's rough. As soon as I got it done, I would have recommended it to people, but as of right now, from all the glitches and DCs that I've seen, I wouldn't really recommend it. I'd wait till we get another update, but who knows when that'll happen. So, attempt at your own risk.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you guys, one thing that I didn't want to focus on as much, but I guess we could talk about now. Have you guys, probably not so much Callahan, but Outbreak, Dead Ops Arcade, or the PlayStation, what's it called? PlayStation exclusive mode, Onslaught. Have you guys played those at all yet? Like, have you noticed anything different since the map came out?
To be honest, I have not played Outbreak yet.
Understandably, yeah, you were on break.
I haven't played Outbreak yet, and I don't really play Dead Ops Arcade, but my next video is going to be about the new Onslaught mode. Okay. It's called Onslaught Accelerated, so I have been playing that.
Dope.
And it's okay.
I know.
If Toby was here, he would tell us all about Onslaught.
Toby's got a whole series where he's trying to do them, but yeah, I don't know. I played Outbreak a little bit just to see, like, the second day, just to see if the wonder weapons were there and all of the other stuff. They're not. I think the only thing that's in them is the Gersh device, which is pretty cool, and also the the wall weapon variants, how they increase every 5 rounds now. That's also a part of it, which is pretty cool. I'd say by the time they are fully, legendary maxed out, you kind of are already set up. If you're the type of person who sets up by like round 3, then obviously. But other than that,
how often do they change in Outbreak? If it's every 5 rounds in a normal
every 5 rounds. I know by round 3 or round 4, sorry, I was starting to see legendary weapons. And round 5 is when they were really becoming like the main ones that I was seeing. So I feel like it's every round counts as like 5 or 6 rounds.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll have to dig in deeper to that, and maybe I'll make a video about it. But yeah, I don't really see many of the other modes affected by it, other than their own specific like game mode updates. I know Dead Ops Arcade 3 got something recently, and I want to try it out, but other than that, the rest of the game is the zombies' health is definitely a big improvement. I know I want to go back to D Machine to try and get like an even higher round now, just because high rounds before this update were pretty easy, but now I can only imagine what a cakewalk is going to be. So I'm excited for that. But this map in general, I think Treyarch honestly hit it out of the park, especially with the amount of time that they were given. So I'm happy to see it. There's a lot more people playing it as well. I know I saw Jev upload a video that he's going for, Dark Aether on all his weapons. So,
that's perfect. I love that.
Yes, dude, it's awesome. It's kind of weird because, I wanted to upload a lot more videos, but I feel like I should just take my time and spread them apart, which is, for some people it'd be easier to say, but I don't. Just feels like I'm not being productive with it, But in order to do that, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I said that's the struggle I'm having too. Is just like rushing through videos and just not getting the satisfactory that I want.
But yeah, I just feel like I have to flesh out my opinions more to be able to bring her a more fulfill. What's the word? Clear and thorough perspective about the map, because I do like it. I just have to pin what I want to talk about down. So
will we be getting a in-depth for Maurer der Toten?
Definitely. I haven't figured out if I want to do the other maps before this, but I don't know.
Nah, just do this one. You can always go back to the other ones, but
true.
I would say for now, while the experience is still fresh,
I've been
make a review of it.
Yeah, I've been working on a little something, but it's nowhere near ready. But yeah, maybe I'll work on that. Play a little bit more, dive deeper into it. So
yeah, you had to do those in-depths about every map. Those were that was fantastic.
You don't understand. There's like 10 years of maps I want to talk about, and it's just I have to focus on one at a time, and it's hard, but I'll get to it. But
Zombies in Spaceland.
Oh, dude, that's like 3 years out. That's yeah, that whole game. I'm thinking I just want to do one video about each of those separate games, and then talk about maybe give one map spotlight. My favorite one out of each of them. But I'll figure that out once I get there. But I don't really have many more topics. I would probably end this by giving this map a straight up 9 out of 10. It does a lot of things great. The story on the surface was enough to get me to dive deeper into it. Unfortunately, when I did that, either it was due to my incompetence or the way it was written, it wasn't really that interesting to go much deeper than like right underneath the crust, because everything else is just so confusing and you have to put it all together. But other than that, I think this map is damn near perfect for Cold War anyways.
This is what D Machine should have been.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
I don't know, but I still like D Machine for what it is, at least.
Oh yeah,
I think I
prefer D Machine over Firebase.
I think the story works a little bit better, just because when you try and learn about it, there's more in the for accessibility wise. For the story anyways, just because it was much easier to learn about what happened there. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly like Klaus was doing when he was killing people, like why was he killing people, and just I don't know. I would say D Machine was a good start for the game, and I don't know if making this map the first map would have made it any better, but yeah, Cold War is definitely fleshed out now thanks to this map.
Yeah. I really say that the whole phrase third time's a charm, this really hit the nail on the hammer perfectly.
Yes. I remember were you going to say something, Aria?
No, I was just agreeing with Cal.
But yeah, I remember last week I was talking about how we could be introduced to a big player like how we were back in Gerard Crovey, and how this last bit of the last map, at least, it can be this big blowout story. And even though, spoiler alert, I don't think Valentina is around anymore, we kind of extracted her very essence, so I don't think she's going to be coming back and be playing any major role, but I feel like what we got from Samantha in that last cutscene is a big indication of where we're going. And like I said, I was hesitant to believe that we were going to have this big blowout moment at the very last map. And I was looking back at Gerard Crovey, and that's exactly what happened. You know, we had introduced a huge player to the story, Dr. Mani, and then in the next map, we were on the space adventure. So I have high hopes, and I hope at least they do flesh out the story more and make that part more accessible, because they've already figured out the gameplay, and it's not as if they should just stop trying to innovate, but focusing on the story more, because I want to get into it. I want to be able to make videos about that and be interested in it. It's not all there yet. That's my main problem.
I really feel like they sort of, with where the storyline's going, I don't feel like the story's going to connect with a new round-based map until like a few more months in. I feel like they're going to do some more Outbreak stuff, because that's what they did with Firebase.
True. I could see that.
But I really haven't been invested in this storyline like I've had with the whole Ether storyline.
True. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, to close out, I think I would just I love the atmosphere of this map. I love the wonder weapon and the Easter egg and Klaus's incorporation into that Easter egg. The Pep camo is very cool. I think one of the most important things is that it's replayable. Arya said it at the very beginning of this podcast. You know, the setup is top notch, and it keeps me coming back. There's no point where I was like, I don't want to go through the setup. It's just interesting. It's not simple, but it's straightforward, and you kind of understand what you're doing after your first 3 games, and it's just easy to get back into. I think I would rate this map at least a 9 out of 10 right now, in the perspective of Cold War Zombies, at least. Do you guys have a rating for this map right now, if any?
I will give it an 8.
8? Okay.
I'm not going to fully rank the maps until every map's been out yet.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's just kind of like a first week.
First week, I will give it an 8. Yeah. It's a way more replayable than Firebase. It's just new. Like I'm still in the honeymoon phase, so I think this map is great, but give me a month or 2, and I'll probably end up hating it. But I hope not. I really enjoy this map.
You sound like the Reddit community. But
damn.
Dude, I gotta tell y'all something about
Nelly coming at them with the shots.
Arya, do you what are your first thoughts, like a week in review? Do you have a rating for this map? What's your opinion?
It's hard to say because I haven't done the Easter egg, nor have I gone for any high rounds yet.
Yeah.
But so far I'd say it's really good. I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Awesome.
Easy.
Right there. Well, the only thing we've gained from this is I like it more than you guys. I'm built different. I don't know. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. We're about a little over an hour in. Yeesh. I really appreciate both of you from coming by again. Rip to Sawtooth himself, the man, the myth, the legend, who is right now working his ass off to earn some money, which at least I will never be able to do doing this anyways. But I just wanted to thank you guys for coming out. Being able to work with other content creators is always a huge learning experience for me, but these guys have lives, so oh god.
We really don't. That's not.
Yeah, this is my. I just graduated high school, so this is my senior summer, just doing nothing.
Well,
So
at least I don't feel alone anymore. Well,
we're all in the same boat, man.
yeah. I thank you guys for coming out. If you have any final words, any shout outs, anything you got coming up that you want to promote, do it now. Go right ahead, brother.
I got nothing coming out except just videos.
Nothing. You're not going to be streaming.
Maybe I'll think about it. I want us to start focusing on videos.
True.
Check out my new rap out. No,
called Donda.
SoundCloud, boy.
Hey, Arya's has a bigger future right now since he's close to 10K.
Yeah, I feel like we're all gonna get there at some point, though. Arya's just worked harder.
Definitely
figured it out.
Yeah,
he won't tell us.
we'll all get there at some point. I got nothing, except I got some videos coming out. Probably tomorrow, if not today. So we'll see.
Dope. All right. Well, guys,
It's been fun.
Yeah, make sure to check them out. Links below. Feel free to like, subscribe. We're going to be trying to do more of these, more frequent. And if you guys have anybody that wants to come on, either the guests yourselves know anybody that wants to come on, or the viewer wants to know anybody come on, I've always got room for anybody who wants to join. Just send them my way or send me their way. We'll figure it out. But yeah, guys, stay safe, stay vaccinated, and peace.